What is going on, 49er faithful? Welcome back to another 49ers media video. And we have some roster moves that the 49ers have announced, as we mostly, I think, know that once the offseason starts, teams that are not in the playoffs are going to start assembling that 90-man roster. Now, they won't get till the 90-man, after the draft, really, because that's what they're still going to add some free agents or, make trades, add players from the draft, sign some undrafted free agent players. So that's really when the 90-man roster comes into shape fully. But the 49ers have already started making some signings, and these are future and reserve contracts. So this is more for like training camp and OTAs sake. Um, but definitely some interesting names on the list. Now the Niners did make some moves yesterday too, so we'll talk about those signings and then the signings that they made today. These are both the future and reserve contracts. So let's first talk about the ones that took place yesterday. I'm going to go through kind of each one and tell you which ones I think are kind of interesting. So first off, we have defensive lineman Jonathan Garvin. Now, all these guys that I'm going to name that they signed yesterday were on the team's practice squad. So a lot of these guys you probably have heard of. Then you have offensive lineman Sebastian Gutierrez, defensive lineman Taron Jackson. Now, Taron Jackson was a pretty recent signing to the practice squad just a few weeks ago. Former Eagles defensive lineman, then offensive lineman Zach Johnson, also pretty recent. Cornerback Chase Lucas. This was the guy that they signed in free agency last offseason. Didn't make the 53-man roster, but was on the practice squad. Safety Jalen Mahoney was a rookie out of Vanderbilt, undrafted free agent, and they bring him back. He had some elevations this season that just finished up, so no surprise there. Then you have quarterback Tanner Mordecai, which I know a lot of people have their eye on him. Glad to see he's back. Offensive lineman Drake Nugent, the center from Michigan, another undrafted signing that the Niners had made, along with um, a guy like Tanner Mordecai, and then wide receiver Tariq Owens, son of Terrell Owens. I believe battled an injury throughout camp and stuff, so he's kind of not on the practice squad. But then they brought him back, I guess, once he was healthy. Then you have tight end Mason Pline and wide receiver Trent Taylor. So those were all the signings yesterday. Trent Taylor gives you that slot and some of that special teams, um, type of play, good veteran guy to have in the locker room. As I think a lot of people know, Niners were actually the team that drafted him first to start off his career. And so, yeah, I like this list. I'm fine that they bring back some of these guys. Want to bring back, I think, people that you kind of know of, guys that are developing. I think a lot of times it's better for some of these players to just be on one team's practice squad because they're able to develop with those coaches. So I think that is great there. And then today, the 49ers signed four more players. Offensive lineman Isaac Alcaroon, um, he was part of the Pathways program. Then you have wide receiver Russell Gage, former Falcons wide receiver. He was on the practice squad throughout the season. Wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins. This guy's a very interesting signing. I actually like this signing. This is the one signing that really stood out to me. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, was drafted by the Bills back in 2020. And then uh, was with the Bills for 2 years. And then after that, went to the New York Giants from 2022 to 2024. Has appeared in 31 games, 14 starts, has 60 receptions for 634 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's also played in the postseason with the Giants, where he has 9 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. And most recently, he's been with the Giants practice squad, and he played in 3 games this last year with 2 receptions for 12 yards. Interesting thing about him is too, he is from um, excuse me, from California. You have him from Oakley, California. I think pretty interesting guy to have be kind of a local guy, but I think that's a pretty cool story there. So definitely, I think the guy that kind of stands out to me hasn't really panned out, but I don't mind this at all. To just have him on this training camp OTAs kind of roster. Uh, Once the off-season programs kick off in a few months, I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for your 49ers players signed to future and reserve contracts. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you miss no other updates. Like I said, yeah, turn that notification bell on. Definitely want to be notified for that. And I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. Share the channel, get this out there. I'd greatly appreciate it. Again, that's going to do it, guys. Peace out, and let's go Niners.